Call Don now, 682-1270. News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. Welcome back to the program. And joining us in studio, I've been waiting all week for this. And I was panicking when we were off the air for like an hour and a half. And I was panicking. What am I going to do if the roller derby team comes in and we're not on the air? I was going to actually record an interview, and then we were going to try to play it in the sports tomorrow. And I'll give Chad some clips from this, and he'll still get it in the sports tomorrow. So, but we have the Roust About It Betties roller derby team in studio. And why don't you go around and introduce yourselves, and we'll get, because we have a couple newbies here. So, go ahead.
I'm Shell on Wheels.
Okay.
I'm Tick Tick Boom.
And I'm Beefcake.
Okay. See, I don't recognize you guys without your helmets sometimes. I mean, I know you were in the first time you guys came in, but you didn't want to talk.
No.
So how did you get talked into it today? You had to do it?
Not really. I just usually try to stay in the back and kind of coach. But
Okay.
Well, this one doesn't like to talk very often, so the rest of us have to make up for it.
Well, see, but now you know that it's nothing to be afraid of. I think the first time you came in, you were maybe a little bit afraid of being on the radio. You know, it's nothing. It's no big deal. I mean, at this point, with an hour and a half being off the air, hopefully people are listening. So.
yeah, that would be nice.
Well. So and the reason you guys are here, you have a big bout coming up tomorrow night. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the competition? I was hoping we'd be able to get a couple of girls from Casper in, but I guess that didn't work out. They're probably not going to come up until tomorrow. But
well, we're playing against the Casper Deadly Ghosts. They're actually a pretty evenly keeled team against us, so our skill levels are right around the same.
Similar.
Thing. So it's kind of nice to come in to a team that you can be competitive with. So.
Yeah, and well, I'm not going to say what you were talking about off the air, but I mean, but this should be a really good competitive bout, though.
Yes. Yes.
It should be very fun too. They've got a bunch of great girls, and they know what they're doing, and it's just an overall fun competition. You can get on that floor and just skate, and when you come out of that, it's going to be a good bout. It's not going to be one of those, odd end kind of bouts, but it's just going to be. I have a feeling it's going to be a blast. It's about worth going to.
Now, Tick Tick Boom and Shell on Wheels, you guys are new to the team. Are you going to skate tomorrow?
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's all. I have a delay. Don't worry, it didn't go out over the air.
Can we let everybody know that was not Beefcake?
I have a bad mouth. I'm sorry.
It's all right. Now, when I put this up on YouTube later, that'll still be in there. But luckily, the FCC doesn't regulate YouTube. No, don't worry. It's all right. Just when this meter gets back up to the top, you can do that again. And I mean, and you guys are really good skaters, so it'll definitely help the team out. It'll make the bout a little bit more exciting. Oh, that was great. We need to do that every day.
Well, that's what I'm here for. Yeah. I'm the highlight of the team.
And just to go a little bit inside, you're my neighbor, so I mean, I should have expected this.
Yeah.
So Casper's going to be in town, and you also have a big deal going on with the tickets. I mean, you can get a two for one deal with the tickets as well.
Well,
so
it's not technically 2 for 1. If you buy a ticket
close.
to each bout, it's $15 for both instead of the typical 20. So. I mean,
it's like 50% off the second ticket.
Yeah.
There you go.
Pretty much.
It's still a hell of a deal.
Yeah, it's buy one get one half off.
Yeah, so there you go. And next week is I forget is it
against Billings.
Billings next week. That's right. That's right.
And that's the last home bout of the season.
Yeah.
Yep. And that's going to be another good bout.
Yeah.
And so these are the last 2 home bouts of the season, and it's the last chance to get to see you guys.
Yeah.
And you don't start back up until when, like March or something like that?
Our first game next year, we're shooting for April. So we're trying to do a kind of a fresh meat mixer bout down in Casper, but our home season's not going to start until we can pull the ice off the rink.
That is true. They're getting ready to put the ice down on at Rock Pile. Then, for those that don't know, the bouts are at Rock Pile. I will be announcing, so I'm getting a little bit better at it. I've studied up a little bit. I've watched videos, so I might be a little bit more comfortable with it. I've never done any kind of sports casting before, and I'm not a big sports guy. I mean, I like football, but I've never done play-by-play. So,
and it's hard too because there's a lot of rules. There is a lot of rules and strategy involved. So
there's a lot of stuff that happens throughout a bout too. There's so many calls that get made. And the last time you were there, you did fabulous. You'll do fine.
Well, see, I know the number one rule. I know the number one rule is to not say anything when somebody comes out of the penalty box.
Yes, please don't do that.
I told him that.
Good call.
And I don't want to throw anybody under a bus, but I've seen some announcers that do that, and I don't know if they know that they're doing it, or maybe nobody ever told them. Yeah. And in the theory, for those that don't know, the theory behind that is you don't want to let anybody skating on the on the rink right there know that somebody's coming out, because it's their job to know. It's not my job to tell you guys that somebody's coming out of the box.
Yeah, I've played games where the teams specifically have listened to their announcers for, your jammer's coming out of the box and here she goes, and you're like, wow, thanks. You just totally screwed up my strategy, bud.
Well, no, I mean, is it a problem with the announcers maybe being a little bit of a homer? Sometimes?
Sometimes it can be. Usually they just want to be really good announcers and not miss anything.
So they want to cover everything, and they don't even think about it before they before they do. So yeah, I mean, if anybody's out there wanting to be a roller derby announcer, that's the number one rule. Don't announce when anybody comes out of the box. So how about this? Let's take a short break. We'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about Derby and the bout coming up, and maybe we'll talk a little bit about next week's bout as well. And actually, I need to talk to somebody about scheduling for next week as well. Okay. So I guess we'll see you in a few minutes. News Talk 1270 KIML.
Not insulting guests since 2013. Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML. Call Don right now, 682-1270.
News Talk 1270 KIML. Don Carpenter Show. And welcome back to the program. If you're just joining us, we're talking with Beefcake, Tick Tick Boom, and Shell on Wheels from the Powder River Roustabout at Betties roller derby team. If you missed the last segment, you missed it was a lot of fun.
Colorful.
It was very colorful. A lot of colorful language. Well, not a lot of it, just a little colorful language. But hey, that's why we have dump buttons, and that's also why we have YouTube, so we can watch it later. And
that's what happens when you have a Tick Tick Boom on the team.
Well, but that's what it's all about, though.
Yeah,
sort of. Don't worry, it's a family-friendly event. Don't worry, it's everybody behaves themselves.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah, to an extent.
Yeah, I mean, there's maybe a little bit of hip checking and elbows going around. Not supposed to do the elbows, but it happens.
Unless you're on wheels.
Accidentally, of course.
Oh, accidentally, yeah. They're never on purpose.
Just so happens to go down when the refs aren't looking.
Well,
that's where sign language comes in.
So
there you go. I mean, and so the big bout tomorrow night. Doors open at 5 over at Rock Pile Ice Arena. It is 5 still, right?
Yeah, doors open at 5.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure. I knew that they normally open at 5, but doors open at 5, and $15 for a ticket gets you a ticket for next week's bout as well, which is again at the Rock Pile against Billings. I mean, do you guys know a lot about the Billings team? I mean, have you ever?
Yeah. The Billings girls are actually when we first came to be there, who taught us everything we know. So we've been kind of learning from them for better part of 2 years. So, and Yeah, we know quite a bit about them. We actually had one of our skaters that moved to Billings and now skates with them. So, I mean, we're pretty close with them. We're pretty up on their skill level. So
now, and that's one of the cool things about this sport is everybody kind of helps each other out. I mean, when you go to the party after the bout, everybody's together. You know, everybody's having fun. But when you get a team started, I mean, somebody wants to get a team started. I mean, it's a pretty long process. I mean, you have to go through a lot of qualifications. Why don't you tell us a little bit about how you guys got started and what all you have to go through?
Well, when you're talking about starting a team, it's kind of a learn as you go process.
Sure.
When we started, there wasn't really a book for starting teams. You just kind of got a hold of another team and said, okay, can we see, your bylaws and your membership handbooks and this, that, and the other. And you have all your administrative stuff that you have to do on one end. And then you get to start skating eventually. And, you got to get pads and insurance and a building and, skaters and
you do need skaters.
Referees, all those people, because, there's skaters, but then there's, just pivotal people that it doesn't work without. So you've got, referees, obviously, that you need to, check yourself. And then we've got, our coach is amazing. He's, bless his heart, he started with our team when he was 19. Wrangling that many girls, and I mean,
well, it's like herding cats.
Nailing Jello to a wall.
Yeah, it's difficult, I'm sure. And then we've got a fresh meat coach that works with all of our newer girls in terms of fundamentals and just all the little stuff so they can get on the track with us. And we've got non-skating officials. We've got a head NSO named Tim Phillips. He's amazing. He does all of our paperwork, all that stuff for the bouts and penalty tracking. And
make sure we have people for the NSOs, because the NSOs are the big part for derby. Yeah. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have a derby bout. Yeah. Without refs, we wouldn't be able to have a bout. They're the main foundation to our sport. They're the ones that create all the fun and make sure everybody gets the points that they need. And
and for those that don't know, NSO are the non-skating officials. That's the scorekeeper and the penalty trackers. I mean, there is. I mean, for those that go for the first time and they see all the stuff that's going on, it's really tough to follow. I mean, the bout itself isn't that tough once you learn how to do it. And you guys do a mock skate in the beginning to kind of demonstrate how everything works. That part is simple. All of the other stuff, the penalties and all the stuff the refs and the NSOs do is really, I mean, I can't even follow a lot of the stuff. I mean, I'm starting to get to the point where I can notice penalties and notice what's going on. It took a little bit to get to that point because, I mean, for a while it was just, I got to figure out who the jammer is. And once you get to that part, it's like any other sport. The more you watch it, the easier it is to understand.
It's a really fast sport too, so you just have to really watch it a few times.
Yeah, but that's the thing. Come out and see a couple bouts, and that's why you got 2 bouts left. It's a good chance to actually get out and do that. And of course, you mentioned all the paperwork and stuff that's done, and I always try to mention this. I mean, you guys are a nonprofit.
Yes.
And every bout you pick a different cause to support. Mm-hmm. So this bout, what is this one for?
This one, we actually got an email a couple weeks ago asking if we could help a gentleman who works at Campbell County Memorial. His name's Bobby Gonzalez. He's a pancreatic cancer patient. So we are just going to take part of the proceeds and help him pay some medical bills.
Yeah, so there you go. It's always a good cause like that, and we'll talk about next week's bout because we're almost out of time. That time flies. But we'll talk about next week's bout, when you come in next week. But that's one of the cool things about it. And every derby team that I've ever seen and been involved with, they're always nonprofits and they always help out the community. And that's one of the cool things about it. It's a do-it-yourself sport, and it just it's all about the community.
Yeah.
So and with that, we're actually out of time. I want to thank you guys. Beefcake, Tick Tick Boom, Show on Wheels from the Powder River Roustabout at Betties. Go out tomorrow and check out the bout. It's 5 o'clock. The doors open. Bout starts at 6. Rock Pile Ice Arena, and again, it's $15. You get not only a ticket for tomorrow's bout, but also next Saturday's bout as well. And it's a good time. It's a good time, and the kids love it too. So bring the kids too.
Yeah.
So I want to thank you guys, and we'll see you, I guess, next Thursday.
Yep. Thanks for having us.
Yep. Thanks a lot. And with that, we're out of time. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Stay tuned for Rush News Talk 1270 KIML.
Better than your first kiss, without all the awkward slobber. Don Carpenter